Welcome to Oriac Live. Today we're speaking with Louis Hayes-Davies from the men's grooming brand Daimon Barber. Welcome, Louis.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's so great to have you here. So I can tell by the accent, maybe this answer, but where are you from and where are you located?
Yeah, today we're speaking to you live from the United Kingdom. So just outside London.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So we've seen so much growth in the men's grooming category, and your brand has quite a unique look compared to most of the brands that we see on the market. So
Sure.
why was that important to you in developing your products?
I think that when you look at the male spectrum, there's a lot of hipster, there's a lot of tin, which is great, and it really has its part to play. But I was thinking, what am I buying? And I'd like to buy something that I'm drawn to. When we looked at doing the packaging for the brand, I wanted something that was also going to protect our ingredients, because we talk about a mix of science and nature. Nature because you've got to have it because it's powerful, and science because you want it to work effectively. So for me, glass, it was sexy, it was something a little bit more aspirational. I wanted something that was user friendly, but also you could recycle it. So I think when I came to look at what style of packaging I wanted, it was very much protect the ingredients, make sure it's recyclable, and also it's got to look a little bit sexy.
Right. So what was your inspiration? Like, why did you start a men's brand to begin with?
I'd actually worked with Daimon Barber previously. So they wanted to create products that were useful and beneficial. And I'd always stayed very close to them. So when I had the opportunity to be able to actually jump on board and then become the purchaser and the sole owner of it, it was something that had really was a natural progression. I'd worked for lots of big brands and worked my way through, a nice career, not only in sales, but also being close to distributors and end users, salons, barbers. And I'd always been in that sort of beauty spectrum. So for me, being able to be then a creator and steer the Daimon Barber brand into the direction where it started from, but also where I really wanted it to get to, was the exciting part for me.
Right. Well, it sounds like you have such an extensive background in the industry, and that's the kind of thing when you have your ear to the ground and you hear what's missing or you hear what you can create,
Yeah.
that's a really good starting point.
I,
Um,
I I think when you work with, and I had done grown up through the sort of the Selfridges, the Harrods, the Harvey Nichols, it was always at the high end of products. So it was about key ingredients. It was about sexy packaging. It was about being able to have something aspirational from a big brand that you could be part of. For me, the important thing there is, I suppose, that was my training ground. So as you then come through the ranks and you've been in the industry, would have been 30 years last year, um, you listen to lots of people and you get exposed to lots of industry leaders. And so for me, I wanted to be able to grow Daimon Barber in that aspirational, effective, and a little bit fun, because you've got to have fun along the way, um, part of the industry. And for the men at this point, there's a lot more exposure. Men are a lot more adventurous in their grooming routines or how they look after themselves. For many years, men will be borrowing partner products. And I wanted to make sure that they could put something in their bathroom or in their gym bag. And when they went on holiday, that they think, actually, do you know what? I love that. It looks great and it works.
yes, for sure. And so, what kind of ingredients you're talking about sustainability in terms of packaging,
Yeah.
but packaging and ingredients. Why was that important to you?
I think that for me, being a true British brand, it was born in the UK. We manufacture in the UK. I go to very artisanal producers of raw materials. We have our own in-house manufacturing department. So for me, I wanted to be able to be hands-on at every stage. Now, as we grow, that it keeps you really busy. But for me, being able to see it from where you purchase the ingredients, example, we use bee propolis in quite a few of our products. It's natural, it keeps the formula really clean, it helps not only your skin and your hair, it protects from daily aggressors, but there are different varying levels of quality of where you can buy it from around the world. And it just so happened that in the UK, when you come to purchase that, that was one of the leaders for me in our product line of where to buy it from. So it's clean, you know where it's come from. And I think that's really important when you're creating product that is going to be more independent and not owned by a great big conglomerate. And for me, I know where all the ingredients come from. So it's important to follow it right from the very start. We make our own formulas. Of course, they then have to be signed off and made sure that they're all okay through compliance. But I know everything that goes into them. And for me, that's really important. And it's a unique selling point for Daimon Barber.
Yes. And of course, in Europe, there's very high standards when it comes to ingredients and especially when you're talking about clean beauty.
Yeah, it was interesting because when we started this, we were part of Europe and then Brexit happened and all of the regulations changed. And I think that now where the UK sits and for our manufacturing process, ingredients that you can and can't use, the regulations that surround it, it's really tough because sometimes you come up with the most crazy ideas, but making them reality can be too costly. So it's about hitting the need. It's about listening to your audience, and that's also really important to us. We have real open dialogue with our customers, and that means our customers, not just from our lovely distributor partners or our department stores, but also our barbers and salons, and then right down to the people on our own database that buy from our website. And we have a lot of interaction from them.
Yeah, that is great. It's so important to really get that feedback from all of these directions, like you said, between distributors and retailers to the users of the products to the barbers. You've got such a great, vast amount of knowledge and information. That's fantastic. You're a small brand in the Goliath of the grooming space. What are the challenges of a small business?
Oh my God, there are so many challenges. So I always say, be passionate, stick with what you believe. If you're going to help somebody look good and feel better, you can never promise anyone that is 51 to look 21. But what you can give them is the confidence to wear product, make themselves feel better about it, and also make sure that it's cost effective and affordable for everybody to use. So I think when you enter a great big space of the male grooming and you're up against some amazing big brands, cost is just unbelievable. You've got to really keep your head around the costs of ingredients and then how much you can buy. So for instance, great big companies go in and buy great big amounts of product and they get brilliant cost prices. So for a smaller independent, and we're totally owned by ourselves, no one else, we're not responsible to anybody else, we only have to be responsible to ourselves. It's just about buying power, and you have to be really creative, and you have to be really clever about it, because you want your brand to look the best on the shelf, and you want your brand to have the best formula, so all of the industry professionals that use it want to keep it. And then I think what comes as a thank you from that is we recently were awarded for a couple of our products the Beauty Shortlist Award, where we're up against a whole host of other market leaders, and we won 2 important categories, one for best hairstyling product and one for best men's serum. So stay true to yourselves and really go for what you believe. You've got to keep costs all times. You've got to be clever in your purchasing power. And then realistically, it's been able to shout about it to the right people. So when we have partners like Oriac and We've got this podcast. That's just music to our ears, because it's another way of being able to share Daimon Barber with lots of people.
Yes. And now you're not just a hair care brand, you're also a skin brand. So how many SKUs do you have? Was that a gradual progression of launching SKUs? Because that's a lot of products all at once.
Yeah. So our heritage is about hair. Daimon was a barber. He was passionate about having really high quality ingredients, and every product had to have a benefit to using it. So our hair category was really our foundation. And then that bounces onto a whole routine. Because if you're going to be Daimon Barber in hair and you love what that product does, then for us, it's really important to be able to offer the client the whole routine. So we have hair, skin, shave, and beard. So you can shave with us, you can treat your beard with us, and our skincare is all about capturing that moisture to keep your skin hydrated and looking fresh. And skincare has become really one of our fastest growing categories.
Yes, well, I always say men have skin too, right? So you need to take care of it. And there's different things about men's skin than there is women's skin. So now you're available in North America, is that right? Where can we find you?
So we're about to launch with a leading retailer. That's going to be in January. We're now with Oriac, who look after the entire Canadian country. So that's really exciting. And then also we're in current talks with another sort of hair distributor in North America that has said yes. And we've got another month before we launch with them. So we'll then be available in 23 countries globally.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing. How long has the brand been around for?
So in its original format, I think when we were working on it originally, that was 4 years. And then 4 years on my own with the current team that has grown with me. So yeah, probably about 8 years, but really hard hitting in the last 4.
Yeah, well, it really takes a long time to develop a brand, to get it out of the gates, from R&D to concept to production to we're launched. That's a big, expensive, long process.
Yeah, when I first started and I first took the reins, it was really tiny. So the first thing I did is keep my full-time job and ran it alongside Daimon Barber. So Daimon Barber would be literally 5:30 in the morning till 8:30. I'd do my day job, and then towards the sort of early evening, I'd be sort of filtering down a little bit. And then literally from about 5:30, 6 o'clock, all the .com orders would go out, all of the invoicing would be done. And I worked it like that for about 2 years. It wasn't then until we started to get a few people within the team. We started to grow, and then COVID hit. And so we navigated our way through that and really put our efforts into our website. But of course, that takes design. It takes new product to keep people really excited. And then coming out of that, we then opened our 3-story townhouse. And we have our retreat on the ground floor, which is a 4-seater barber studio and 2-seater salon. Our offices, middle, and upstairs is all our warehousing, where we ship globally from here.
Wow, that sounds like a beautiful, perfect space. I know I've seen a little bit of it on social media. It does look really chic and classy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
it looks
you.
beautiful. Just another question about the products. Yeah. What about the scents? Like, how did you decide on what type of scents that you wanted to have? Because there's manly scents, or there's kind of a unisex scent.
Yeah.
How did you decide?
I think for me, scents are really important. And I grew up in the years of Christian Dior, and the master perfumers used to say that a scent can take you back and remind you of things in years gone by. When you come into the men's sphere, a lot of people have a leathery smell, or a lot of people can sometimes go down the more sweeter bubblegum style. I wanted something that would be fresh, that would be slightly different, not too masculine, so it's just for that particular segment. I wanted something where you lifted the lid, and when you came to use it, it would be a fine fragrance that you could think to yourself, oh, I could wear that as actually as a fragrance. So for me, I went down the fine fragrance route. It took a long time because a lot of products have different benefits. So the benefits had to reflect the fragrance that was in it. And we talk about freshness and sexiness. So, you know, when you use our texture clay, that has a fig and frankincense, and texture clay just lends itself to having that. And because we blend the fragrance with our formulas, you get a natural lift through the whole product. It's not going to be injected at the end or just chemically enhanced. This is a fine fragrance that we actually use across all of our formulas. And then something like yuzu paste. Yuzu is a fruit. It's a citrus fruit. It makes your mouth water. So we use naturally the oil that comes with it, which is a fine fragrance, in our yuzu paste. So, you know, whether it's a texture clay or a yuzu paste or a peppery smell when it comes to some of our post-shave balm. We don't put scent in anything that goes around your eye, so like our eye formula. But yeah, scents are important because they trigger things. And I wanted them to lift the lid and think, wow, you know, it inspires you to use it, as well as obviously the benefit, but also what the product does.
Sure, because aromatherapy is also part of the brand. You know, it's the look and feel and texture, but also the smell, that thing that you really connect with. And I think it's kind of, it can be a make it or break it for some products, even that you personally would want to use.
It's about being subtle with a fragrance. There's a few stories you learn in your career, and we've developed products for people, and sometimes you think, OMG, that's going to be a love it or loathe it. For me, it was just about using something that was a fine fragrance that lit some of your emotion. You feel inspired by using it, and it's part and parcel. But of course, when you've used it, it doesn't stay with you all day. This is just so when you're using it and you apply some heat to it or you massage it into your skin, it gives the client or the person using it that lovely feeling, that lovely aroma.
Yeah, and I think in that case too, if you use that, especially for a beard oil, because it's on your face or a beard product, it stays with you all day, so you actually don't need a fragrance. I mean, I remember living in a building with a friend that used to love oud, and he would just pack it on so much. And he always wanted to come and say hi, and it was like I would run away from him. No, please, because I have to wash my hair. It was just so empowering.
Oud can be now, and there are many spectrums to the oud wood. And you know, some of our partners around the world are more oud orientated. What we did with ours, and oud is a really good one, because like you say, sometimes you can think, gosh, that's a bit full on. We put it into our beard and stubble softener. So the technology that uses is silk microspheres. So unlike an oil, what it will do, it will really coat the beard, it will soften the hair, and it's really nice to touch. For that product, we used oud and Egyptian mallow. So a really soft blend. So when you first apply it, you do get this lovely aroma, but it's a softest blend that you can use because it's a product that's about softening. So you know, the two sit together.
Yeah, that sounds great. I can't wait to smell the products, actually. So you have lots of really stylish magazine editorials. You've got some celebrities, even soccer players. That's really fantastic for your brand. And how did that all come about?
I think by being just humble and ordinary and asking and looking at the stylists. We have a whole team of stylists we work with whom are so super talented. And I've never said to any of them, you know, being introduced to them, you've got to use our product. I've just said, let me send you some of our product, use it, see what you think. And if you really like it, I'd be delighted if you could use it with some of your client base. And we started with one or two, and that's grown. That's just it's grown over the years, and we've now got a really tight group of people, stylists, that go out there and do some of the most amazing magazine shoots. We did one for Loewe, and oh my goodness, it was just amazing. And then what happens is some of those people in the public eye then request product, and we get talking to them, and it's been like a snowball effect. And I think that I'm always really super grateful for anybody complimenting what we do. And sometimes you get really amazing feedback, and other times, you know, it's constructive criticism, and you've got to take that on board. But we get such a lot of people that say, oh, I really like that, Louis. All of my team are the same. So I think that a kind approach with some really amazing product, talking to the right people, having a little bit of luck on your side as well, we seem to have got in the right hands.
Yeah, well, you're super lucky too, because that's very important PR and marketing, especially
Yeah.
to get it onto the heads and faces of celebrities, and then of course it gives you such great editorials for your feed, where you can give credit to the stylist, and so you're kind of each supporting each other that way.
Yeah, we're in a magazine. We're in a couple of magazines between now and sort of the holiday season. It's been amazing, and that's come based from our stylists and then some of the people that use it. There's a particular actor that is going to be on TV screens quite prominently between now and Christmas, and I had a meeting with actually him last week, and he said, Louis, I love your product, can I use more of it? And perhaps we could put something formally together. So we're just in talks with him at the moment, and hopefully come January time, there might be an announcement that we're working with somebody that really is would be great for the brand.
Yeah, that's great. I wish you luck on that. That sounds like a big development.
We try.
How do you continue to fund this? Is this a self-funded mission, or are you looking for investment? You have investors?
No, it's excuse me. No, it's all self-funded currently. We've grown very nicely, but at a nice speed. But I have to say, over the sort of last 12 months, the pace has really picked up. And yeah, hey, you know, if an investor comes and says, Louis, we've got this and we think it's amazing, then we're always up for talking to everybody. But no, so far, self-funded, and we're trying to keep it that way.
Congrats! That's just fantastic. So what do you?
I've got no money myself, but you know.
Well, I always say it takes a good once the launch happens, it takes a good 5 years to really even out and get the brand out there and start making profits, and then that's time to maybe look to grow the brand or expand in some way.
I think what we get carried, or I get carried away, is the fact that you see a new ingredient, or you hear about something that's different, or we get an email from a customer and they go, oh, what about that? And I think, and then my brain starts to tick then. And then rather than just sitting there and go, well, that's okay, we've got 7 hairstyling products, we've got 25 SKUs altogether. I just think, oh yeah, but we could launch that, and that would just finish that little bit of circle of product. And then they're all like, oh no, here he goes. And I'm like, it's okay.
Well, that's how brand grows and develops. You know, not every brand is just a tight little grouping. I mean, there's so many ideas you can have. Yes. And just the ingredient itself is the inspiration to create a whole new product.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Do you have something called texture dust?
We do. We have a whole texture category. Texture clay became our #1 selling product, which has been amazing. Then we introduced texture tonic, and that's got like a sea salt in there, but is kind to your hair. It retains some of the moisture, so you can have beach waves. And then we had a lot of clientele come into the retreat, which is where that inspired our texture dust. that perhaps had more thinning hair and they wanted more instant texture. And
Mm.
so what I wanted to do was design a dust that would retain moisture, because if you're keeping moisture in the hair, it keeps it flexible and healthy looking. And by having a dust, normally they're not water soluble, but as is, we worked a long time on it. And yeah, you can add instant texture, thickness to hair that perhaps is follically challenged, let's say.
Right, that's a good way to put it.
Or if you've got hair like yours, and this is another way we use it in the salon side of the business. So where you've got the lovely hair that sort of frames the face, but you wanted a bit more height, then what you can do is add some to your center parting and then massage it in, comb it through, and that will give you a bit more height to come back around the face. So sometimes, you know, it works on both sides of the equation.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there anything new, or what are the newest products that are coming down the pipe, or are you allowed to tell us?
Well, we do. For this year, we've got a shampoo and a conditioner. They're called Advanced Plus, and that has a magical ingredient called Redensyl. That's going to really help people that have thinning hair or concerned with hair loss, because it's been clinically proven to help your hair become stronger and fuller. So that launches with its shampoo and conditioner, Advanced Plus, in a couple of weeks' time, let's say 3 or 4 weeks. And then a hair growth galvanizer. So if you do a lot of swimming or you're out in the hot sunshine, but you want to protect the hair, you can spray this into the hair. Again, it's got that lovely magical and new ingredient, Redensyl, and that will help strengthen the hair. So yeah, there's a couple of things due to come out. And then in Q1 of next year, there's more surrounding the popular yuzu benefits. So, and that's going to come into another product.
Right. So it sounds like yuzu is one of your key signature ingredients, and that's something that you can use elsewhere, or is that more just for your face?
I think it's the yuzu paste that just has won the Beauty Shortlist Award for Best Men's Hairstyling Paste. Mm-hmm. It has such a captivating aroma, and it has such amazing benefits when you use the oil. It's all about soothing and calming. So that's going to go into a product at the start of next year, and that will be our second sort of a venture avenue into using that yuzu plant, yuzu fruit, sorry.
Yeah. So what keeps you so passionate about your brand? I mean, you're a passionate person, clearly. It's just exciting to create new things and
I think
create new products.
It's amazing to create something. It normally takes a couple of years to come to fruition because that's such a long process. But I love the creation side. I also think, and I get very passionate, that if you are going to use something on your hair, your skin, your beard, it's got to have a benefit. Else, why would you use it? Yes, you've got to style it. Yes, you're going to protect the skin. Yes, you're going to make sure your beard is lovely and soft. But I want to be able to put lovely natural benefits in with that, so you can use it all of the time. It's your go-to product. So I think for me, how we look, what goes into it, I am super passionate about it, and I want to see it out there, perhaps in a larger scale than it is now, for people to say, I love that Daimon Barber. It really does what it says on the tin, and I'm going to continue to use it.
Well, it sounds like you are going international, and that it sounds like it's all starting to happen, which is really great.
It's scary.
Yeah, I'm sure, but that's what it's all about, right? It's the growth, and with the growth stage comes new challenges, which I'm sure you will manage through.
We've then got Italy coming up, and we're launching with Italy. So that's our next country to conquer. We're doing that later on this week. We fly out there. Yeah, there's lots of newness happening. There is a lot going on in the brand currently.
Right. So when you go to Italy, can I come with you?
Yeah, we're going. It's Milan. It's Milan.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's lots going on. I think for us, really having the Canadian experience, We've got these new partners in Italy. We're talking to other partners in North America. You know, there's some really positives that we're aiming towards, and we've also got our really, you know, sort of our followers and our people on Instagram, Facebook. I'm not a massive social media, but it's so important. So we've put some fun stuff up on TikTok, but at Daimon Barber on Instagram. If anyone wants to follow us, it's amazing. We love it. Have a go.
Yes, actually, I just think your Instagram is so slick and beautiful and Euro and luxury and full of inspiration and celebrities. The branding is beautiful. And if anyone hasn't seen the website, you got to see how beautiful the products are shot and the website looks. I just think it's bang on everything you've done.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you. Honestly, and that's not just me, that's our entire team. We just try to make it look the best that we can, and we have fun along the way. So there's never a dull minute at Daimon Barber.
Sounds like it. Well, I'm super impressed, and congrats again. And I can't wait to see you in your world expansion.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we really appreciate chatting with you today.
I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me.